All right, so by now you guys have already read Sadie's Game. If you need to go back and reread it, you can either find the hard copy that's in your packets, just one page front and back. There's also a link on Mrs. Knight's website underneath the reading tab, and it's a little audio file that you can play and it'll read the story aloud to you. So what we're going to do today is fill out our graphic organizer that you can find in your reading packets. On that organizer, it looks like this. It says character, setting, problem, events, and solution. So what we're going to do is go back through the story Sadie's Game and look at specific details to fill out our problem and solution organizer. So it says, as you read Sadie's Game, think about the problem and solution in the story. Why is it important to understand the problem and solution? So it says identifying the problem and solution in a story can help you understand the characters, setting, and plot. The problem is what the characters want to do, change, or find out. The solution is how the problem is solved. So we're going to think about those words problem and solution and what they mean. As I read and type in each of these boxes here, you guys can go ahead and write down anything that you see on the screen. Rather than you guys trying to guess and figure out what to put in each of these boxes, we'll just do it together. So it says, reread the passage from Sadie's Game. First, highlight the characters and the setting. Then identify the problem in the story. Write the details in your graphic organizer. Use the Think Aloud to help you. So we'll click on this in just a little bit. But here we're just going to look at one section of Sadie's Game. It says, Sadie watched her teammates whirl and spin in front of her. Her emotions were all over the place, and it showed in her basketball playing. If only she and her brother had not argued this morning about the game. What's so important, Richie, that you can't be at the game? Don't I matter anymore? Sadie had asked. So when I hit this next arrow, notice how they highlighted the words Sadie, Richie, Sadie. I know that those are two of the characters in our story. I know that Sadie's mother is also a character in the story, even though we don't see it just in this passage. So in the character box, we are going to put Sadie, Richie, Sadie's mother. Those were the three most important characters in the story. Next, we want to know the setting, where this is taking place. So if I hit next, notice how they highlighted the word teammates and basketball playing. I know that teammates and basketball playing is on a basketball court. So this is where the story is taking place, a basketball court. Go ahead, I'll give you some time to write down Sadie, Richie, Sadie's mother, a basketball court. You can hit pause if you need more time and then hit play when you're ready to move on. So next we need to find the problem in the story. We understand that Sadie was not very happy with Richie. Let's see if we can find details in the passage. So notice how they highlighted, her emotions were all over the place. It showed in her basketball playing. If only she and her brother had not argued this morning about the game. So I know that Sadie, an emotion she might have is upset because her and her brother argued. It might affect her basketball game. So if I hit next, it says, Sadie is playing badly. She is upset that Richie did not come to the game. Please go ahead and write down the problem in your problem box. You may hit pause if you need time to write. Hit play when you're ready to move on. All right, so now it is our turn to figure this out together and see what events we could put in these two boxes before we get the solution at the end. So the directions say, reread the passages from Sadie's Game. Highlight two important story events. Use these events to understand how Sadie finds the solution to her problem. So it does say that the problem was she was playing badly. She was upset that Richie did not come to the game. I'm going to try and find a solution or an event, something that happened in the story where she fixed this problem, playing badly. And I want to find another event that showed that maybe she wasn't upset about Richie not coming to the game. We want to see how those two things change. So I'm going to get my highlighting tool and I'm going to highlight any details that show me an event that helped her solve the problem. So as I read this, I will highlight any important events. But we're losing. How do you know we're going to win? She asked. I don't, Richie said. It's not important. What I know is you're like a whirlwind on the court, and there is no way I am going to miss my little sister's big game. He put his hand on her shoulder as he said, it's great to have a lot of new friends, but I realize that you're my best friend. So I know this details about how Richie did show up to her game after all. He said that she was like a whirlwind on the court. So he made her feel confident about playing basketball. He said, there is no way I'm going to miss my little sister's big game. He also encouraged her and said, I realize that you're my best friend. So I don't want to write all of those things in one box. I just want to come up with a short sentence here that describes all of those things. So one event that probably solved the part about her feeling upset is that Richie, or we can say Sadie, took Richie's advice to play well on the basketball court. That could be one event that we write. And this is just something that I'm coming up with as I think about the story. So there's no right or wrong answer. If you feel like you want to have a different sentence in your own words, then you can write something different down. So I'm going to hit this number 2 up here. You can hit pause if you need time to write, hit play when you're ready to move on, and then we're going to go ahead and check out the next event that we need. So once again, I need to take my highlighter and I need to highlight any details that help me solve this. So one more time on number 1, we said Sadie took Richie's advice to play well on the basketball court. So unfortunately, that event goes away, but your next event is going to be in this box right here. It says, Sadie smiled. Those words meant more to her than I'm sorry ever could. She rested the flowers on her lap and went back onto the court. Right then, Sadie decided to play the rest of the game with a bouquet in her lap. With her brother watching from the sidelines, Sadie stole the ball from an opponent and dribbled her way to the net, making the first of what would be many amazing shots for the team. So I want to make sure that my second event is different than my first. So the first one was Sadie took Richie's advice to play well on the basketball court. I know here it says Sadie smiled, so I know she felt happy. So those words meant more to her than just an I'm sorry. I know that she had the bouquet on her lap as she played the game. I know that she knew that her brother was watching on the sidelines. And she was able to, oh, my highlights aren't going to match up here. But I know that she was able to make amazing shots for her team. So those are all details that I want to put for my second event. So I'll get my text box here. And as I type, you can write this sentence. Like I said, if you'd like to put this in your own words, then you can. So our next event, I know that she, or instead of she, we'll say Sadie, she felt happy, if I can spell that right, she felt happy that Richie was on the sidelines watching her game. So that made her happy. That was an event that happened in the story that changed this problem. So the first event that we have is that Sadie took his advice to play well on the basketball court. That solved this problem. And then it said Sadie felt happy that Richie was on the sidelines watching her game. So she's no longer upset that Richie did not come to the game. So now we will get the solution, how this problem was solved. So we know that at first she was playing badly because she did not think that Richie would be there. In the end, Sadie was happy to play basketball once she knew that her brother, or we can say once she knew that Richie was there to support her. And sorry, that kind of goes off the page a little bit. I don't know if I can move that. We'll try and move that right here. So go ahead and fill out the rest of your organizer. Make sure that you have your character, setting, problem, events, and solution filled out. Make sure that once you do get this filled out, you take a picture and find a way to send it to me, Mrs. Knight. So you can either text it to me, you can have your parents send it through Remind, you can go onto Google Classroom, find the assignment called Sadie's Game, and you can attach a picture there. If you're having any trouble trying to figure out how to do that, then just let me know. So I hope to see you guys soon.